Now we are on to song number 9.
Which brings us to Samuel Fairbank, solo artist. Now we've been all over the place today. We've been to America, we've been to the UK. Where did we go for Sergio Jose de Marco? I can't remember where he was. But now we're off to Sunshine Coast in Queensland, Australia. So he's raised on Australia's east coast and calling the Sunshine Coast home. Samuel Fairbank's relatable honesty and storytelling is slowly etching a place for him in the world of Australian songwriters. For anyone who has ever been and gone in love, Samuel Fairbank's sophomore EP, Freckles, speaks.
Sergio, by the way, was from Buenos Aires.
That's Argentina, right? Okay, so
yeah, we are definitely keeping up with our traditional worldwide theme. We are traveling the world today. So here we go. Samuel Fairbank, Time to Time.
You are like falling water running through my fingers. If I clench my fist much harder, it doesn't make a difference. Now I've let apart altogether, and it's reflecting on my symptoms. As I watch my feet get wetter, I'll teach myself to swim soon. If you wanna go, I'll run. Just to find you, please run towards the sun. 'Cause it's cold behind you, you'll find someone. What do I do when I find no one? When I find no one. If you wanna go, I'll run. Just to find you, please run towards the sun. 'Cause it's cold behind you, you'll find someone. What do I do when I find no one? When I find no one. Let me bleed through this last time. I'll tell you something, do you mind? If you leave, I think I'll die, but I'll still love you time to time. If you wanna go, I'll run. Just to find you, please run towards the sun. 'Cause it's cold behind you, you'll find someone. What do I do when I find no one? When I find no one.
Alrighty. Justine, you have notes going on. How are you feeling about that song?
Well, first of all, I'm sorry, Tom, but it came through rather poorly. My audio of that song was not too good.
I'm sure.
But I did luckily listen to that in advance, which is a difference. I mean, if you hear it's pristine effects, it's beautiful. He has a very unique voice. It's tender. It's emotionally convincing. It actually adds to those sad lyrics. which are obviously about the loss of love. There were some harmonizing vocals, I think female. I couldn't quite make that out, but I think they were female. That they actually start subtly early, and it's just kind of like you anticipate the beautiful anticipation that the what's going to come into the chorus. Well, the chorus, by the way, is really nice. It makes you want to sing along. It gives you a certain kind of high. There's an example with his analogies. He writes his own music. He says, you watched the storm clouds gather while I was caught up in the sunset. Then I felt the pitter patter that notified your absence. I thought that was beautiful. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of other analogies he uses in that whole thing that are really done well. And his voice is just lends directly to the emotions that he writes about, apparently a lot about relationship pain, so we've all been there, and it just makes you relate, and he's very good at it. The instrumentation was minimal, I felt, except I think it was bass that came in the chorus, maybe also some piano. It was very subtle, but it worked. I mean, it'd be wonderful to see him perform. It's like he doesn't need a band. It was effective, I thought. It did seem to me that he needed a little bit more in the beginning, but I think it ended to fit nicely. It set the story stage, almost as if he, as the storyteller, was stripped of color, for lack of a better word. It was like he was just so sad. And that's why the beginning is just so sparse. I think it worked. It ended up working. But yeah, he's doing well on Spotify. He's been added to playlists. So yeah, he's got a promising future, I believe.
All right. Carlos Fandango, it looks like your computer may be overheating. You're starting to get a little bit of a Max Headroom effect going on.
Oh, really? Oh, that's quite cool. I'll keep that going then. I like that. Yeah. Max Headroom. So I've written down a few of the same words that Justine's used there. I really like his voice as well. It is unique. Very tender, I've written. Emotional delivery, beautiful lyrics, and that's exactly the line that I really stood out. And I'm listening to this thinking, guys, really emotional song. It's got a real pull of emotion, and it's mainly down to his voice. It's a nice song though.
Yeah.
All the same, the dynamics of the song are nice. It's handled sparsely, but really in keeping with the lyrics. I like it when the drums come in. It's got a nice sort of I don't know if it's a gated reverb, but it's certainly got that sort of that might be the sound that came the way it came through, but it's a really nice sound on that snare. And the clever thing about this song was that when that chorus came in first, the drums drop and come in, and then they drop out very quickly. And that's nice. It happens a second time, the second chorus. On the third chorus, you're expecting it to come in again. It doesn't. And that's exactly supports what Justine was saying, that it's the protagonist of the song, yes, is stripped down to nothingness and just left with nothing, and the drums have gone by that, the heartbeat's gone by that point. It's it really
that gave me goosebumps.
And it's very it's just really well handled song. Definitely a promising future, because that's a really nice voice he's got there, and unique, and that's one of the main things of being a recognizable artist, is that you could be somebody knows it's you from the first moment you start singing, and having that unique voice. Bob Dylan isn't the best singer in the world, but it's him. Jimi Hendrix wasn't the best singer, but it's him. Mm-hmm. And it's the uniqueness of the timbre of the voice that's the most important thing.
Well, I mean, just going back to your point, Johnny Cash is basically, for the most part, spoken word, right? But the whole thing is just the delivery on it. So I'm not going to mimic everything that you guys are saying here, because, you're absolutely right with everything that you're saying. If you recall, Carl, we had, was it Griffin Bryce?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Griffin. So Griffin had a song that was similar to this. I don't remember the name of the song exactly, but it had to do with.
I'll look it up.
Look it up,
Wow,
please.
that's-
It was on the last episode of the episode before that. We had Griffin Bryce. He also had this kind of like love and loss kind of song, and obviously this resonates with everyone because everybody's been there and we've gone through it, right? So it's very poppy. It's very mainstream friendly. I agree with everything that both of you are saying here. The first person that it reminded me of was Griffin Bryce with that song exactly because it seems to be along that even keel with the guitar and
Yeah.
almost ukulele sounding guitar in there, right? Where it's just ever so subtle. The instrumentals, the vocals are the prominent feature here, where they're telling a story, and that's what you should really be paying attention to. And I think that it's I think it's a pro production. I think it's very mainstream friendly. It's very poppy. Good job. Bright future in music ahead of you right there.
Griffin Bryce's song was Sun Chaser.
Sun Chaser.
Yes, it stayed in your head.
Yep.
That's good.
Yeah. So there we go. Once again, on the Underground Sound, we found a lot of talent here. So visit the video description below. Find this talent that you're hearing here. This is stuff that you're not hearing on the radio yet. You might be later on. Who knows? We may bring our radio station back, bring it on to the FM vibes, and get the put the underground into the mainstream with these indie musicians who are doing such fantastic work, creating all of this music out here.